Have you ever been asked, "So, what's your blood type?" You might answer A, B, or O. If you're a bit more informed, maybe you'd say Rh positive. And occasionally, someone might respond, Rh negative. Now, many people believe Rh negative is rare. But here's the truth, it's not that rare. Globally, about 15% of the population, over 1 billion people, share this trait. So what's truly rare? Rh-null, also known as the golden blood. This blood type is so rare that only 43 people are known to have it in the entire world. It's so unique that scientists have given it a title that sounds like something out of a fantasy movie. Golden blood. But how exactly does someone end up with this golden blood? Let's go back for a second. You're probably familiar with the ABO system. A, B, and O. These are determined by antigens on your red blood cells. Now enter the Rh system, often simplified to Rh positive or Rh negative. Here's the twist. The Rh system isn't just one thing. It's made up of over 50 different antigens. Among them, 5 are medically important: C, D, E, and D. Your status as Rh plus or Rh minus is mostly based on the presence or absence of D antigen. If you have D, you're Rh positive. If not, you're Rh negative. Simple, right? But even Rh negative individuals still carry other Rh antigens C, E, or E. So when someone with Rh negative blood receives Rh positive blood, their immune system might attack the D antigen, triggering a life-threatening reaction. Now imagine this: someone who has none of those antigens, not just no D, but no C, E, or E either. This is Rh-null. That's why it's called null, because it literally has 0 Rh antigens. This means Rh-null individuals can donate to almost anyone with rare Rh phenotypes, but they can only receive blood from each other. Let that sink in. Only 43 known people on Earth can safely give blood to an Rh-null person. That's rarer than being struck by lightning twice on your birthday. So how does Rh-null happen? It all comes down to your genes. The main culprit is the Rh gene, which acts like a gateway for expressing Rh antigens. A tiny mutation, a single change in a DNA letter, can cause the complete absence of all Rh antigens on red blood cells. It's a recessive trait, so both parents must carry the same rare mutation. Statistically, this is nearly impossible. That's why Rh-null is sometimes called the genetic lottery jackpot, but in a terrifying way. You can't create this blood with CRISPR. You can't engineer it. You can't predict it. Let's rewind to when Rh-null was first discovered. It's 1961. In a hospital in Australia, a woman from an indigenous community is undergoing a routine blood test. Doctors look at her sample and panic. There are no Rh antigens. None. 0. It was the first known case of Rh-null blood. Since then, only around 43-50 cases have been confirmed worldwide. Here's where it gets serious. If you're in an accident and you have Rh-null, you can't accept blood from just any Rh negative donor. Why? Because they still have other Rh antigens like C or E that your body will reject. Rh-null individuals are at constant risk. So many of them take precautions like carrying emergency blood ID cards, pre-donating and freezing their own blood, registering with international rare blood donor programs. In France, Japan, the US, and Canada, Special emergency networks exist for transporting Rh-null blood via air freight, sometimes across continents. One French patient once had his own blood flown to Singapore to save his life. So what makes Rh-null so scientifically valuable? The absence of antigens means it rarely triggers immune reactions. That's why it's known as a kind of universal donor within rare blood types. It's ideal for research into safe transfusions, organ transplantation, artificial blood development, immunology. But it's so rare that its use in experiments is extremely limited. Ethical boards tightly regulate any use of Rh-null blood. Let's hear from those who actually live with it. A woman in Japan with Rh-null blood said, "I donate blood every year, not for myself, but in case someone like me needs it someday." That sense of biological solidarity is something only Rh-null carriers can understand. Another man in Switzerland avoids travel unless he can bring frozen blood. He avoids extreme sports, adventure travel, even long drives in remote places. To them, a scratch isn't just a scratch. A surgery isn't just a surgery. Everything requires planning, backup plans, and personal blood supply. Of course, something this rare also breeds rumors and conspiracy theories. There have been whispers of black market sales of Rh-null blood, secret programs tracking these individuals, even tales of Rh-null being the blood of the chosen ones. In the early 2000s, one European biotech firm reportedly offered over $20,000 per unit for Rh-null blood. So here's the question: should blood, especially life-saving blood, have a price tag? What are global organizations doing? Since 2006, the WHO has supported a global rare blood network, linking blood banks to respond to emergencies involving rare types like Rh-null. Still, there are issues: political tension, transport regulations, customs delays. These all affect blood movement across borders. Rh-null has even appeared in fiction. Shows like The Passage, 3%, or Blood Type portray it as a powerful mutation, a symbol of human evolution, or even a superpower. While fictional, these stories reflect our fascination with what makes us unique and vulnerable. But what about the future? Researchers are developing AI-based blood matching tools, bioprinted blood, lab-grown universal red cells. One day, these could help Rh-null individuals live without fear. So what does Rh-null really teach us? That blood is more than a liquid. It's a history, a risk, a responsibility. Golden blood isn't valuable because it's rare. It's valuable because it connects lives across continents. To the rest of us, blood is just a category on a hospital form. But to Rh-null carriers, it's a life or death label. If you learned something new today, give this video a like, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to explore more air science stories with us. Thank you for watching.